So I was thinking a little bit more on tribes and our group mentalities. And I'm astonished on how intertwined this twine tribe mentality is weaved into our biology. So, for example, just a good example is anxiety. We see that people who are tend to be outside of the group, lonely, or outside of the perspective group, tend to be more anxious. The people who are by themselves and don't perceive themselves being within any specific group, they tend to be a little bit more anxious because in our evolution through hunter gatherers and Homo sapiens, we evolved to be in groups. So whenever someone was not in the group or someone felt like they were lost or separated from the group, they would feel anxiety. And with that anxiety would gain from their anxiety a little bit more energy to go out and go find their group again. Uh, that's that's one kind of side effect of anxiety. At least from what I've noticed, is it gives you a little bit more uh, energy and friction to not just stay in place. To It kind of forces you outside of your stillness. It forces you to go move away from something or move towards something or to do something because the body feels like there is a problem that needs to be solved through your action. And we can tie this back to meditation and how we can learn to observe a lot of our anxieties, um, not even our anxieties, but the body producing our anxieties by sitting down and observing our thoughts and also our current feelings and current conditions of the body. And find that our consciousness, that observing mind, is quite different from those anxious feelings that are always cropping up. It's kind of your body and mind speaking to you, and I find it fascinating how anxiety has this this tie with tribes, and how where we're separated from our tribes, we feel anxious to get back to our tribes. Such a biological evolution that we see today. And then, well, I also see a lot of to pivot a little bit outside of, not outside of this conversation, but a different route is what I see currently happening within the world, especially in the Arabic countries. So, for you guys living under a rock or you watching this video before, these are the days after the Iranian president was killed by missiles, and there is a lot of upheaval and a lot of uncertainty in the world right now, especially with Muslims, and at least from the Western side. And whenever I talk to people, it's almost like they're any trigger of the word Muslim, anytime Muslim is any anytime something is associated with Muslim, there's almost a trigger in the people I'm observing to kind of say, oh, that's dangerous. That must be dangerous. It's Muslim. It must be dangerous. And I'm thinking it's that trigger is just coming from our natural biological tendency to separate ourselves into tribes, because in our tribes we feel safe. If they're outside of the tribe, then it's not safe. So, of course, a conflict with war has different sides and different tribes, right? So, I see a lot of people that I talk to have subscribed to the Muslim being the other tribe and being the dangerous tribe, the tribe that if you're out on your own outside of your own tribe, let's say the Western tribe, then you must watch out for them because they're going to hunt you and kill you. It seems like. But one thing I wanted to kind of address with this is not that there isn't real danger out in the world, but we have to be careful with words. Words do not represent reality. And if we let them represent reality, a lot of the time we are going to either be anxious about or what is going on around us, or better explanation, misinterpret what is happening around us or within the world itself, because words are at their base trying their best to represent reality. But of course nothing represents reality more than reality itself. So, the advice I'm trying to give myself and also would like to give you guys is not to immediately associate words, in this case Muslim, with certain connotations, even ones that are opposite of safe or dangerous, but to observe what is happening in the world, what is happening around you, what have you seen before, what experiences, why are people doing the things that they're doing, asking questions. I'll give you examples. So people have kept telling me Muslim dangerous, and it's been in association with Indonesia, because Indonesia is a predominantly Muslim country. So a lot of people that I've been talking to have said you probably should rethink your travel. That's going to be dangerous. It's Muslim. It's Muslim. It's Muslim. But of course, so I try to do a little research on it, and at least right now, currently, two things I've seen. One, the United States, where I'm a citizen of, does not register it. The United States has a travel advisory, and it classifies it into 4 categories, 1 being the safest and 4 being the most dangerous, don't travel, and Indonesia is at a 2 right now. To give you perspective, Germany and France are also at a 2. So it kind of gives you an idea of how kind of dangerous this might be. And then also looking out for any of the news, right? Well, not the news, but like putting your head down and seeing, okay, where is the violence actually happening? Where is majority of the violence happening? Of course, the majority of the violence happening is in the Middle East. Of course, of course, that's not to say that there will be terrorism elsewhere, but we have to weigh how dangerous it is to actually trying to live our life the best we can. And when I look out in the world, I could die just as easily from a car crash as I could from a Muslim extremist in, I would say, America or Australia or even Indonesia right now. That's not to say I'm going to go to the UAE right now or the Middle East right now with all the tensions. But what I'm trying to say is you as an individual have to weigh and do your research and have experiences in this world to get a better gauge of what can be dangerous, what is dangerous, and even if you should go into danger, maybe circumstances calls for it. The other thing I want to leave off is this idea of tribes and separateness. We also have to think about, let's take, for example, the Western world and Muslim community right now. What are the biological aspects that are influencing our tribalism and tribalistic nature? What is the difference between governments and the people? The Western governments and the Western people, the Muslim or Arabic governments and the Arabic people, Muslim people. Because there's a huge difference between how governments portray themselves and how the people wish to be portrayed, or what they want, what the people want for their lives. And that's something you have to think about as well. And also, of course, don't fall into stereotypes, but look into why these stereotypes have come up in the first place, because there seems to be a little truth in them, but you got to find out what that truth is for yourself and how much it is and how little of it is and how pervasive it is or how unpervasive it is, and make the decision for yourself in judgments, as my dog's going crazy. Anyways, that was a rant, but I had a lot to talk about. See y'all tomorrow.